Good evening, fellow Zimbabweans, comrades and friends. We are coming to you as members of SODA in a time which is a little bit difficult in Zimbabwe. Yes, we have been in hibernation since the elections of last year to allow our members to participate in the political parties of their choice, because it is our goal to see the young people influencing decision-making in decision-making boards and institutions, irregardless of any political party they might want to choose. So we are going to take advantage of this Vote Eyes show today to give our view on what is happening in Zimbabwe at the moment. Thanks to Humanist Media Africa for partnering with us in this. This is the SODA Heroes, Defense Forces and International Youth Day address. Because tomorrow, the 12th of August, is Heroes Day in Zimbabwe. The 13th is Defense Forces Day in Zimbabwe. And again, the 12th of August, tomorrow, is International Youth Day. This press statement of ours, we have actually entitled it, "The national security situation in the country," meaning Zimbabwe, has moved to another level. Stay tuned and hear our position as SODA on what is happening in Zimbabwe. The Social Democrat Association, SODA, in conjunction with Humanist Media Africa, mutually joins the whole Zimbabwean family and the whole world in celebrating Heroes and Heroines Day, Defense Forces Day, International Youth Day. Section 3, subsection 1, item 1 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Amendment number 20, Act of 2013, states recognition and respect for the human liberation struggle as one of the founding values and principles. We do agree that the liberation struggle should be given an utmost reference. The reference should be non-partisan and should not be influenced by any form of discrimination, such as tribe, race, region, economic endowment, or religion, or lack of religion. We dearly express our gratitude to all those who sacrificed their lives during the armed liberation struggle, both those long gone and living ones, recognized and unrecognized. Of lately, we have seen hero and heroine status being extended even to artists such as the late Oliver Mtukudzi and Soldier Love, also known as Storm Saka, and also Apostle Ezekiel Andina Wanguti. Though we query the intention and timing of such gestures, we do commend it as a progressive mode. We still have a lot to do on the way we confer hero and heroine. In August 2021, in the House of National Assembly, Honorable Tokozani Kupe and Honorable Levi Maishome noted with concern what they suspected and alleged to be tribalism and regionalism in the conferment of the hero status in relation to the late So Jean Law, who had passed on the 16th of July 2021, a non-veteran journalist, writer, and freedom fighter, who is one of the pioneers of the liberation struggle, to the extent that in 2014, he was one of the 21 pioneers who received the Liberation and Independence Medal. Another most finished example of a person denied hero status is the late trade unionist, well-decorated patriot, and opposition leader, Morgan Richard Tsvangirai, who served the country in different capacities. The zenith of all being when he was the prime minister in the government of national unity. The crowd which thronged the Humaniqua village in Buyera for his burial was enough to show that state-assisted funeral wasn't enough without conferring national hero status on him. It's high time now as a country we should meditate having a commission on state honors and hero status conferment than to let ZANU-PF Portibro have the monopoly on who gets state honors and hero status. The armed liberation struggle ended at the attainment of independence in 1980. But the struggle for liberation continues through implementation of the gains of armed struggle, through the gains of liberation struggle gains. Some of the gains from armed struggle we ought to enjoy are as follows: freedom of expression, freedom to peaceful demonstration, freedom to associate or join associations of our choice, whether social, economic, or political, without being persecuted. In whatever way, lest we forget, majority of those who sacrificed their lives during armed liberation struggle were youthful. Therefore, the youth have an unnegotiable mandate to carry on the liberation struggle. Needless, we got independence, needless to say, we got independence on terms and conditions of the colonial master, to the extent that for 30 good years, from 1980 to 2013, as a country, we were using the so-called Lancaster House Constitution, a legal document crafted by the colonial masters without the input of majority of Zimbabweans. Very few people, such as the late Comrade R.G. Mugabe and Father Zimbabwe Joshua Nyong'olo Mkabu Kongomo, who were actually in a compromising position, being far away from home, were the only ones who got the chance to input something into that previous constitution. Having said that about heroes and heroines, we also want to comment on celebration of the Defense Forces Day. The Defense Forces of Zimbabwe consist of the Army and Air Force, intelligence, police service, prisons and correctional service, and any other services that may be established under an act of parliament. And defense forces must the fundamental rights they must respect the fundamental rights and freedom of all persons, be non-partisan, national in character, patriotic, professional, and subordinate to the civilian authority. That is section 211, subsection 1 and subsection 3 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Amendment number 20, Act of 2013. Fiscally, as any other state institution, the defense forces are a construction of taxpayers' money. Therefore, they ought to give utmost respect to the taxpayers, who happens to be the citizens. Thirdly, our defense forces have been implicated in some serious abuse of human rights in Zimbabwe. Latest being the 1st August 2018 killings, which necessitated the setting up of the Commission of Inquiry, popularly known as Halema Moshande Commission. Not forgetting mid-January 2019 killings. Prior to the above-mentioned instances, soon after toppling of the former President Robert Gabriel Mugabe, a number of some now army top brass members left military regalia in barracks, taking on suits to be cabinet ministers. The transition was too fast for us to believe the state defense forces members were all along non-partisan. Our simple observation for the past 6 years, especially after the 1st of August killing 2018, there is the heavy deployment of the defense forces at the end of July and into the first week of August. We are yet to factually comprehend the rationale, though we allege it to be an intimidatory move at the moment. Despite a litany of evils associated to our defense forces, we celebrate their contribution on peacekeeping mission abroad, especially under the United Nations forces. Internally, during natural disasters such as floods, they help a lot to save human and wildlife. Doing reef demining process in places such as Sanko border area, with inadequate equipment, and not forgetting the defense band for entertainment during national and state events. As for the International Youth Day, we decided to be more practical, clear, and bold in this address by questioning what are the greatest challenges facing Zimbabwe. We got the following answers: breakdowns on human rights and civic freedoms, rise of populist politics and threats to progressive values, worsening conditions for peace and security nationally, crisis of democracy, climate change, inequality, and poverty. Second question would be, what SODA can do to address these challenges? Surely we ought to work in solidarity for the causes we believe in, demand accountability, hold decision makers to account for commitments, work to influence policy and gain public support, support citizen action and participation, experiment and innovate to drive transformative change, walking the talk by being transparent, accountable, inclusive, and diverse on tackling internal power imbalances. On the same very note, we do acknowledge and be happy that in a few days we'll be hosting the Southern African Development Community SADC Summit. We have some infrastructural development around Zimbabwe, which is and Zimbabwe is taking chairmanship of the SADC, not for the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time, but for the fifth time. We are heavily concerned with the level of how government is behaving as it is preparing. It seems as if it is preparing for war. This has been evidenced by the locking up in remand of certain activists, trade unionists, such as Namatai Kwekweza, Robson Chere, Senator Jameson Timber, and the 70 plus. More so, we have seen heavy deployment of security personnel in selected areas, which looks like a show of force or power operation, which is only justifiable if the country is under a threat of being attacked as an operation to warn or intimidate an opponent by showcasing a capability or will to act in if one profile. Our $1 million question is, when did the masses of Zimbabwe become enemies of the state? Are they not the ones who assisted the transition from First Republic, which is normally called old dispensation, to Second Republic, new dispensation, a departing line? Majority of Zimbabweans are unarmed and untrained civilians, but their power is in unity. Unjustifiable persecution might unite them. We rest our case. Thank you. Happy Heroes Day, happy Defense Forces Day, happy International Day. Let us push Sustainable Developmental Goal 16. Veni Vidi Vinci. Thank you very much for being with us in this press release. You said